Welcome to another episode of the Ambitious Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Sabine, the Purpose Lawyer. Thank you for listening and thank you for helping me be on purpose. All right, thank you so much for coming back again. I wanted to share with you this week. I was having a conversation with a friend and she was explaining to me how she loves the content that I put out there. I talk all about estate planning, protecting your assets, and I like to share a little words of wisdom here and there as well. And she was expressing to me that, she knows that it's something that she needs and that she wants to do. But being a busy professional, she's like, I really just want someone to tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do. What are the steps? What does this process look like? Like, just break it down for me. And so I was like, you know what? If you have that thought, if this is how you feel, then I definitely believe there are people out there who want to hear it, who want this also. So I was like, let's start very high level, very basic. What are the different phases of estate planning, right? Like, what does that even mean? And so I came up with 5 different phases of the planning process that I wanted to share with you. And just like I always like to start with saying, what is estate planning? So an estate is everyone has an estate, right? Whether you have assets or you don't, when you pass away, you have an estate. So when you're alive, we talk about your estate being everything that you own. And I usually like to add everything that you own of value, right? The things that you're not really cherishing or nobody's really going to want, we tend to not really count those. But the things that you have of value, we do count. So there's a number of things, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit as well. But that is your estate. So estate plan is really just a plan for your stuff in the event that you were to pass away. It also encompasses a plan during your life, right? So as you age, grow old, not necessarily just the aging part, but the fact that your life changes with you, the way you manage what you own changes with you, and what your goals and your plans are for the rest of your life are going to change too. So your estate plan should change accordingly. So there's some aspects of your plan that help support you and in your later years. And there's other aspects of it that help you to pass on your legacy, what you've created here, what the imprint you've made on this world, and also the things that you've gathered. It helps you to pass that on as well, right? So again, it's, wealth is not by accident, but it's actually planned, right? You have to actually put a plan in place. And so that's what we're talking about here. What are the phases of this estate plan? Like, what does that look like? How do you put something like this together? So the first phase is discovery. So discovery is basically exactly what it sounds like. Whoever's helping you plan, your planner, right, has to know or learn what exactly it is that you have. And discovery is the part where I'm an estate planner, so we ask people to put down or share with us what exactly it is that you own, that you have in your possession. Like, what are your assets, right? I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So for example, most of the time, the clients share with us that they have property, right? So they might have real estate, one or multiple properties they might own. So we want to know that, right? We want to know where the property is located and, how much is it valued, because the value of the things that you own is going to determine how we guide you in planning, right? Or the options that we make available to you or that we explain to you is going to be based on how much your estate is, because why? More money, more problems, right? No, not necessarily a problem, but more money, the more that we want to plan to help you preserve and protect what you have, right? So we might need to put more bells and whistles in place and more tools in place to help you protect what you have and help you smoothly transition it, at the point in time, whatever time in your life you'd like to do that. So that's that. So we said property is one. Then you have bank accounts, right? Your bank accounts that you use every day. You might have some savings accounts or some other accounts that you are not using every day, but you might have, funds there. We want to know that because that's also going to, one, add to the size of your estate and to help us to guide you into what to do, where these things should go when you decide how you want to divvy them up. So we have your bank accounts. If you have a business, we want to know, like, what is your business? what is the value of your business? Again, back to that bottom line. And if you have partners, like what's your role in the business, so that we can, again, figure out how to help guide you, right? I'm going to stop repeating that and I'll say it again at the end. So, you know, all of this information is to figure out how to help how to help guide you. Another thing that people or clients will list and should list is their insurance policies. So you might have life insurance, so that if you were to pass away, that insurance will be there to provide for your estate. So it could be to pay off some bills or some debts. It could also be to support your family, your loved ones who are relying on you, so that they don't have to sell assets. Or it could just be to just add cash, you know, to your estate. Any of those things, right? So that's life insurance. Then you might have insurance for your business. If you have a business, your business might have insurance, so that if something happens to you, your business could either be provided for or continue to run, or whatever the case is. Lots of reasons why you might have insurance, and many different types of insurance, but particularly we like to focus on life insurance to make sure that we know that you have it, and that, again, we can have that part of your plan. Another thing that we like to ask in the discovery phase is family dynamics. I want to know all about who's in your life. So are you married? Are you single? Do you have kids? What's going on with that situation? Are you the person who's caring for your kids? Are you in a second marriage and you have kids from a prior marriage? Like, all these different questions about your life. Is there anyone in your life that we need to be concerned about? That's a question that I ask as well, because it matters, right? So one, is going to matter with the plan. I'm trying not to give away like my part 2, part 3, the different phases, but it does matter as I talk once I get into the different phases. And it also matters because we want to know, like, it's part of also your goals, right? How you want to benefit whom, and all that good stuff. So this is the part, all of this goes into the discovery phase. We try to get as much information as possible, so that when giving you some guidance, we're considering all these things, right? All these things are being considered when helping you put a plan together, right? All right, so that's phase 1, discovery. And again, it could be daunting, but it's really also beneficial for you, because now you know everything that you have in your estate. You know how many times I've had people say, I forgot about this account that I had, or I forgot about this retirement account I had with this old employer, or whatever the case is. And it also helps people to remember, like, oh shoot, I need to do something with that, right? So it helps help you take action on the things that you've probably been meaning to get around to this whole time. It's a good eye opener. And oftentimes people find out that they're richer than they think. And that's not just a plug for my book, but it is. But seriously, a lot of times people figure out that they have more than they expected, or, you know, they might, like for me particularly, I was aiming towards a financial goal. And when we did our estate plan, I realized, okay, I need a new goal, because I didn't realize with the totality of what we have that I had already reached my goal, right? So you want to be mindful. And I think that, you know, it's always good to have vision, and it's always good to know exactly where you are in, you know, reaching those goals. And it helps, you know, give you that perspective on what you have going on. So fast forward, let's go to phase 2. Phase 2 is the strategy that we take to sort of get you to your goal, right? So we want to find out, okay, based upon what we talked about, we want to know, okay, now what are your goals? All right. If you live as long as you want to live, what are your goals? If something happens, you know, early, what are your goals? Like, say the person has children, you know, what would you like to see in the lives of your children if, God forbid, you weren't here to give it to them? If they were to receive an inheritance, what would you like that to look like? So we sort of go through the goal phase to see, like, what is it that you want? And that's why I say estate planning is individual. It's not one size fits all, because every single family is different. I could have clients that have the same exact financial makeup, but we have slightly different plans, or completely different plans based upon what they wanted, right? There could be one thing different. It could be one client's same assets, one client's married, one client's single. right? Or, both clients are married, same assets, but they have different goals. They, how they want to treat it or how they want their loved ones to benefit. So we go through that strategy phase so we can figure out what exactly it is that you need in your plan versus, someone else. Even though all different aspects of the plans are available to everyone, it may not be necessary to give you the shiniest plan with all the bells and whistles if that's not even going to affect or impact your goal, right? So we like to keep that in mind. And we also like to see, like, are there other individuals that might help you reach this goal that we can be a connector and a bridge for? So do you need to add insurance to your plan to basically help you, reach or achieve what you're looking to achieve? Or should you sit down with a financial professional to, help you strategize about growing your finances and things like that? You know what I mean? To reach your ultimate goal as you age and things of that nature. So we look to see, like, what are the holes that we need to sort of plug to make sure that your goals are achieved, right? All right. Phase 3 is drafting. Then we need to start putting this plan together. We need to start putting the documents together to get your plan, sort of underway. And those are things such as healthcare proxies, powers of attorneys, living wills, trusts. The basics is everyone's going to need a healthcare proxy and power of attorney, right? Everything else is going to be depending on your particular situation. Not everyone needs a will. Most people need a will. Not everyone needs a trust. Many people need a trust, depending on their situation. And I've definitely done plans with people who have, say, property that didn't need a will or a trust, based upon their circumstances and their goals. So it depends, right? But then we go through the drafting phase. We get all these documents together. We get your plan together and anything else that we sort of need to do as that's concerned. And then we get to phase 4, which is confirmation. We want to make sure that what we've created is exactly what we discussed and what you wanted. And what we find is once we've had, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that sometimes things come up for clients, right? Before they're even done. They're like, oh, I was thinking about it and I actually don't want this. I want that. Oh, I was thinking about it and this particular person, now that I've been watching them with the eye towards having them a part of my plan, I no longer want that. We've had all of these different things happen. And so that may be a time where clients might make adjustments to their plan before we finalize. And we also want to make sure that we have everything right, because a lot of times there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of agents and different people that we need to name and make sure that we have that correct. So it's part of the process that we always have this confirmation and maybe updating and tweaking the plan before it goes for signing. And then finally, we get you signed. So I guess I could say that's phase 5. All right, so 6 steps, right? 6 phases. So phase 5 would be signing. So we're signing your plan, having you come in, you're going to sign your plan. You're going to make sure you understand what these different documents look like and what they are. And, have it sort of solidified and finalized. And now your plan is alive. So depending on the plan that you get, then we move to phase 6, which is funding, right? Funding means that we either need to update beneficiaries, and that may be a combination between your professional and you, updating your beneficiaries and or updating the ownership interest in your assets. So what do I mean by that? So updating beneficiaries, if your plan is simple, maybe it's a will-based plan, or maybe you don't even need a will-based plan, depending on your situation. You will then need to update the beneficiary. So things like insurance policies have a beneficiary, and that just means that if something happens to you, this person's going to get these assets. So that needs to be updated once your plan is finalized. So I said insurance policies, retirement accounts, some bank accounts or investment accounts have beneficiary statements. So if it's a simple plan, then you're going to want to just update that. If you have, say, a trust-based plan, then your trust needs to now be incorporated in that funding process, right? So that is, then once all of that is done, all 6 steps, then your plan is complete. Right? Now, you probably want to have adjustments as you go on in life and as things change and circumstances change. You're definitely going to want to adjust, but at least, even if you're not adjusting, you want to review at minimum, in my opinion, my humble opinion, every 3 years, right? And I have done videos on different life events and things like that where you might want to review and update your plan. So I hope this was helpful for you. My 6 phases of estate planning, not 5, 6. And listen, if you have questions about estate planning, trust in estates, legacy, asset protection, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to my firm, the Ambitious Legacy Firm. This is what we do. We help people with this type of stuff all the time. And we'd love to help you. If we can't help you, I'm also happy to reach out to my network to see if I can connect you with someone who can help you, because the goal for us is really to educate and to help more people preserve and protect their assets. So if you're reaching out, then we're doing that. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.